The Willow finale, where the heroes bang the apocalypse into existence to turn back time 2 months. It's like the horny Terminator. We start with a previously on, which is a strangely accurate summary of how the rest of the series has felt.
Our true enemy is still out there.
Eric, where are you?
You're going to need a sorcerer.
Yeah, it's just a rapid-fire set of unrelated scenes that don't really go together, but if you zoom out and squint, you might get a vague sense of blurred plotline.
But the Chimerian Cuirass.
Have mortar spirit survive.
All you have to do is submit.
The plot is basically 2 words out of each sentence. Chimerian Cuirass, to Arthur, submit. I can do magic.
Mad Mardigan.
Stole the Lux Arcana.
Back from him.
Every time he chose you!
Mad Mardigan, Lux Arcana, why is it not all about me? But we start where we left off with her brother finding a barber. He's also growing the same stubble as Fake Beard, so maybe that's just a side effect of being evil. Oh yeah, they did walk in and it was all perfectly fine, but now behind them is the entire evil army of doom. How did they get there without being spotted until this very moment? I have no idea. Somehow I don't think Cageface is exactly high on his sneak rolls.
Guys, you're here!
It seems that when you turn evil, you lose the ability to act. He's been fine throughout the rest of the series, but now all that goes out the window.
This is so great! What a wonderful treat!
It may just be because all of that was dubbed, I'm not sure. But we get this weird scene where Kitt is trying to win him over. Well, you think Elora should be the one to do it.
So, you're one of them now?
They're not who you think they are.
I don't know, I think it's very obvious what they are. They look like monsters, kill like monsters, and in the very first episode raided your entire city, wiped out a load of people and kidnapped you. Who else is gonna do something like that? The Taxman. I mean, look at the state of them. They're hardly S Club 7, are they?
She is just using you to get what she wants.
And you'd know all about that, Kit.
She needs Bevmorta's blood to raise to something and enslave.
Yeah, that's right, she forgets the plot of the entire series. Which isn't a surprise, considering Willow has done that in basically every episode so far anyway. Don't worry, Kit, it's only the fate of the world that rests on it. It's not that important.
Harbinger.
Harbinger.
You're doing really good. Thanks.
You're doing amazing! Is she, really? If I turn evil and you send Kit after me, I'm just pushing the big red button. Please, won't someone make this end? But he tells them that the crone, or the princess as he knows her, wants to talk to them and she's waiting in the temple. But Kit realizes I'm crap at this. I'm not going to win him over. Let's give her Elora a chance.
I'm not talking to the crowd.
Come on, do you think I would let anything happen to you?
We really want to help you. Just want to take you home.
I'm not the one who needs help.
Well, you really tried hard there, love. Just what I wanted, the savior of the universe to live by the motto, if at first you don't succeed, just give up. It's not worth it.
Wait a second. Is that Dad's sword?
Yeah, it looks like a right mess. It's all chipped and stuff. She couldn't even be bothered to sharpen it on the way here. She's had that sword for months across the entire journey across the great ocean. Couldn't even be bothered to get out a whetstone once in a while. We need a stronger word than lazy to summarize Kit.
Where did you get that?
It's a long story. Listen,
Not that long. She found it in a mine.
we need to get out of here. Now.
She is amazing and fascinating, but also really intense.
You want to take this one?
We're gonna swap over again because suddenly he starts talking about girls. Something you think Kit would specialize in, but apparently no. It's all down to Elora now.
Yeah. Amazing and fascinating, huh?
We're not off to the best start, but let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
What if we refuse?
You just said you'd give her a chance and you still can't keep your nose out with your rusty sword. So they immediately forget Elora, the love of his life, trying to win him back from evil. Nah, we'll just give up with that. Let's fight him, shall we? She's like, I might be the most powerful sorceress in all of existence, but I can't just beat him in a fight. That'd be stupid. We've run across the entire Earth to escape them. No one's been able to beat them. And so if one person in the party beat them, that'd be incredibly stupid. Especially if it was someone non-magical. That'd be even more ridiculous.
Just have to listen to her and then we'll go home, okay? It's the only way.
Oh, well, I mean, if my evil brother has told me I have no other option, obviously I'm going to do it. These two people are supposed to be the heroes, the savior of the world. Why do they have the IQ of a spoon? And still haven't tried Elora, the love of his life, trying to talk to him because Kit can't keep her nose out. Back on the edge of the waterfall, and the party are having kittens. I didn't mean that literally, even though this is a fantasy universe. I wouldn't put it past Willow if they did. They keep trying to jump off and then chicken out because jumping off a massive waterfall.
Before we do anything irrevocably stupid.
I think you've already done that. 2 of you have jumped off. The stupid horse has already bolted.
A leap of faith. That's how you get to the immemorial city, right?
It's possible.
Do you not know? Did you not research it? You didn't even know its location, you just set off in a direction and hoped. With no rumors, no legends. Could you have asked that guy back at the bar? He apparently went there at some point. If someone tells you that's the way to the immemorial city and you do it, that's a leap of faith. If you just jump off a waterfall and hope that you teleport somewhere, That's stupidity. Actually quite apt for the party now I think about it.
Then let's go.
Told you.
It's also possible they were supposed to go alone.
But we get the most ridiculous explanation, especially considering she didn't go alone.
For Mad Mardigan, protecting the world meant protecting Elora.
To protect his family, he had to save the person who can save the world. Logic which this show seems entirely unaware of.
He told Allagash that his child would shoulder that responsibility for him. Kitt is Elora's protector.
So she's not alone then, is she? You need to go alone. Except for that person over there, they can go with you, that's fine.
And who protects Kitt?
Preferably no one, but if you want a real answer, plot armor.
I do.
No, you don't. When have you ever protected Kitt? Kitt saved you from the Bone Reavers. Elora saved Kitt from the giant pool of evil. And why would a protector need a protector anyway? Otherwise, oh, who's going to protect you? It's just protectors all the way down until the entire universe ends up at the end of the world.
Because you love her.
Calm down, Willow. Do you think you could put a little less emotion in your voice? Oh no, you've knocked the teapot over and it's spilling across the table. I don't know why we're all acting as if them banging is some kind of big secret that nobody knows about and shouldn't be said. You're not special or unique, you're just doing something which has happened since the beginning of time. Ever since the first two bacteria looked at each other and went, ooh, look at the shape of that DNA. Oh, ooh, the curves on that double helix.
When you love someone and they need you, yes, you jump off the edge of the world to go and get to them.
That seems a bit extreme. I'd probably just text them first. Phone them if it was really serious.
This is bigger than Eric and the Crown. I can feel it. This is the beginning of a war.
And season 2, everybody! Oh yeah, if you thought Willow couldn't get any worse, imagine when they start threatening you with a season 2 at the start of the episode. Most people just shove it in at the end, but they thought, no, we're gonna make our audience scared right from the get-go. But with that, she makes up her mind. Yeet. Now, at this moment, I was briefly hoping that the first two were just meant to go alone. Because quite frankly, the I'm your protector, well, I'm her protector, well, I'm her protector chain didn't really wash with me.
I'm proud of you.
You should be, mate. I sat through 8 hours of this crap. There's really only 2 significant emotions that come out of that. Pride or disappointment. Maybe disgust. Disgust would also be a reasonable response.
What for?
You're on your way to becoming a great sorcerer and an even better man.
And you only turn evil about twice a series. 2 out of 8 episodes.
We'll see each other again.
Oh, I hope not. So then he jumps off as well, and I become even more excited that this might all possibly be a trap, and these two decide that they could probably just nip off home. Now, they did travel for months across the ocean, and have said that they have no food or water left, so there is no going back across that ocean and surviving. But we forgot about that because that happened in the last episode, so now it's all just a reasonable opportunity.
Willow and Bowman, great voyage home. Maybe we take the scenic route, stop off at some of the finer broths.
Starve to death in 3 weeks, die of thirst in 3 days. You could have got away with it because he's a mage, but you said in your second episode that you cannot magically create food. Why did you write yourself into this hole when it wasn't necessary to begin with? So Willow starts to go home until...
Yeah, or
Oh, you had to ruin it, didn't you? I was more than happy to spend the rest of the episode in the broth.
we could entertain the ludicrous prospect that there is something bigger worth fighting for.
Elora is certainly hoping that it's big enough to be worth fighting for.
Or whatever.
It's easy, Bowman. Ask yourself what it is you really love. Then give yourself to it for as long as you can.
Primarily, I've always been focused on me.
Well, you could focus on loving yourself for as long as you can, but after the 30 seconds, we're still going to need something else to do.
Nobody's buying it, Bowman.
We haven't invented artificial insemination yet, so unless you've got a turkey baster and a nearby taker, it's a no-go.
Truth is, you're loyal, dedicated, and strong.
And despite all that, the cuirass still wouldn't work for you, so what is the point?
And Mad Mardigan would have...
Seriously, don't, because then I'm going to start crying, and I'm going to get all embarrassed.
Oh, that's what I really want in my male heroes of a fantasy series. Please, can we just have some more of them crying?
You shut up and let me finish.
Nope, too late.
Yeah, he got complimented into jumping off a waterfall. Willow, though, he's got other priorities.
Ask yourself what it is you really love. For me, it's Mims.
Yeah, he's going to walk back across an ocean with no food and starve to death for Mims. It's not the best plan, but it is exactly the level of Willow that I would expect from the rest of the series. So at least he's staying in character. So Willow walks off because he cares more about Mims than the fate of the world. Despite the fact that if that party failed, there won't be a world for Mims to live in. Willow, we need to get you on a steady diet of steak because something has gone horribly wrong. Back to Elora now, entering the Temple of the Left-Handed Germans. The prince gives them an insight in what it's like to be, well, evil.
Finally let go of my fear. It's like doors swung open and I could see everything.
Oh, well, that explains it then. What happened when you turned evil? Well, I became an egotistical prick that thought I knew everything. Wait, hang on, have I been drinking that evil juice? Or was I just born this way? It's hard to tell. But the doors slam shut behind them, and Kitt has an observation.
Have
you been drinking this
What made you think that? I mean, seriously. Did you get thirsty when you saw it for the first time? You just see some random goo float down a wall. It's like, have you been drinking this, by the way? Just like a D&D campaign where everyone's mettering. The only way you jump to that conclusion is if you watched the last episode. And let's not forget, she fell into a pool of it. She's definitely drunk it as well. But he tells us what it is, and it's not what I expected, I gotta be honest.
A mother gives birth. Her body makes milk for the child.
Stop, please stop.
Why am I not surprised that Kitt of all people is disgusted with the idea of giving birth? Look, brother, stop. That's not really my area, okay? I don't think it's particularly likely or in my future. The only milk that I touch comes from a soybean, and that's how I like it.
It's nourishment. It's the part of himself that he gives to us.
Yeah, that's right. It's not just pure refined evil. Pure evil worm juice. It's like part of him that he's secreted. I mean, is there any more zoomer of a comment? Yeah, swallow my evil nourishment. What is happening to this show? But at that moment, the crone appears from the wall of evil. Kitt and Elora look horrified. Oh no, is that my competition?
Ladies,
Because at least she scrubs up nice.
the hard part is over.
You're the crone?
Yeah, I mean, if she dressed like that when she first met him, it probably would have all gone down a lot easier. Why is it that the villains in this series are the best dressed? By a mile. Although I have to be honest, Cageface is letting the side down a bit.
You may be the only person in the world who can call me that and live.
Would you prefer Spinster? I mean, it could have been worse.
You know, despite what you've been told, I'm not the bad guy.
Willow might be the only person in the world that you could say that to and be correct. Yes, I may be working for a worm that wants to bring about the apocalypse. But compared to Kitt, I'm the good guy. And what am I supposed to think when she brought a pair of convincing arguments?
You tried to banish Elora to the 13th night.
Don't pretend like you have the faintest idea what that means.
Look, you tried to send my friend's soul to a different dimension. Yeah, well, you don't know what dimension that was. I don't think it matters. You still tried to do it to her. And not only did you try and do that twice, but in the original movie, you wiped out a load of babies in the meantime. Now, I know that's not a big deal in California, but this is a fantasy world. We can make it different from reality.
What do you want?
To send you to the 13th night, presumably. That's what she's tried twice. It'd be weird for her to suddenly change her plan now she's actually got you in her grasp, wouldn't it? My kingdom for a plot that made sense.
We're gonna set her free. She's the harbinger of the worm.
Well, we're not gonna do that then, are we? Yeah, that's right. The entire pitch of the villains to the heroes is, you should just do what we want and bring about the apocalypse for the rest of the episode. I mean, at least he's been drinking horrific worm milk, but the heroes, for what's about to happen, have zero excuse for their actions.
All I want is to offer you the same choice that was given to us.
And why would we want that? You want to bring about the apocalypse. I just want to ask you, do you want to destroy the world, yes or no?
And no matter what we choose, you'll let us go?
Yeah, that's the hero's master plan. What we're going to do is give in to the villain's evil plan and just go along with it. If fate had to choose two people to save the world, why is it these two?
It's obviously a trap.
Obviously.
If it's obviously a trap, why are we about to do it? Why are we not attacking these people already? And if we don't think we can beat them in a fight, why did we come here looking for a fight in the first place? What did we think was going to happen? Can the heroes not go along with the villain's plan? Like, for once.
And one time I convinced him that all of his fingers and his toes would like rot off.
You are a marvelous woman, aren't you? All we've seen throughout the series is him be nice to her, and still she manages to come across as an absolute pantry. But they've been discussing this thing, which has absolutely nothing to do with the story, for so long, even the villain gets annoyed.
Girls, whenever you're ready.
Why are you having to write in characters in your own show going, you're just wasting a load of time here, mate. Please, can we just get back to the plot? Nobody cares about Kitt proving how horrible a person she is again. She's done it for 8 episodes. I think we get the point.
What's the choice?
Fight her or spring her trap and fight her afterwards. That's your choice. This isn't complicated. But she says to find out, you'll have to go through the wall of LED evil. It's customized to you. So these two, in their never-ending ignorance, decide, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. We'll go for that. We jump to the trio who have just discovered the abandoned city. And another interesting feature of this realm, sandstorm.
By the time the sun sets, it'll be here.
Well, good for you. The sun never sets in this realm, according to the print.
It's dark, windy, probably the end of the world. If either of you two want to make out right now real quick, I'd be up for it.
Yep, either of them. He's not fussy, and looking at the three of them, that's probably for the best.
Well, what do you suggest?
Camouflage.
I hate to break it to you, but I can still see you. I can't possibly be detected with some soot in my beard. And I know, you probably think that's as worse as this scene can get, but when you actually find out how they camouflage themselves to their end, it does get worse. But for now, we've got the despicable duo voluntarily going through with the Crone's plan to destroy Earth.
You said not to go into the light.
Kitt, I think I speak for everyone when I say walk into the light at every opportunity. We'll get lucky eventually. But they decide to enter the crack of doom, and we teleport into a forest. Yes, I know, we've had multiple episodes already set in forests, But we can film this at the same time and it makes it cheaper. That's why 90% of Wheel of Time was set in a forest. You don't really have to pay a tree. We even bring back characters from previous episodes.
Mom?
Oh, thanks for reminding me who she was. It was the first episode. Things were getting a little bit foggy. This is a show that forgets its own plot from 3 minutes ago, so I can understand why it will assume you've forgotten characters from the first episode.
This can't be real.
Can't it? Don't you recognize my touch?
I'm sorry, love, but your hand feels very similar to everyone else that also has a hand. And I'm not sure why it's much of a leap that if I can hallucinate a forest, I can hallucinate a hand. They didn't even bother to go ask me a question that only I would know. Largely because it's all a delusion. But everybody knows that. They must know that. I walked into an evil portal and suddenly my mum arrived. Obviously, this is all fake. They didn't even drink any of the worm goo. They haven't lost any of their memories. They know exactly what is going on. And yet, for some inexplicable reason, believe that this is real. And she had the nerve to say her brother was gullible. But she says to Elora, I'm so sorry that I hid the truth from you, but I just wanted you to live a simple life without getting dragged into all of this. Without the pain, death, and suffering of knowing Kitt. But divide and conquer comes into play as the prince, who's now changed clothes, wants to talk to Elora alone and so takes her away.
So, what do you think?
I think it's a beautiful lie.
So why are we going along with it then? According to her rules, you only have to go, no, I don't want this. This is a lie. It's not even real, mate. And then you'll go free, except we all know that's not going to happen. So why are we doing this again? I can't remember. I'm not sure we've ever been told. They're stupid seems to be the main explanation.
Guess it could be anything we want. It's our wedding.
Oh, who doesn't want a wedding with a toast of worm secretion? You sure know how to entice the ladies. So those two go off together and Kitt stays with Mom. Then we find out Borman's master plan, how they've travelled with camouflage. I'm not even sure what's going on, and I've watched this twice. I think they're meant to have dug a tunnel, but I'm not really sure. And I say tunnel largely because I don't know where Borman's legs and body go if they're not in a tunnel. And why are they covered in so much dirt? If they just put dirt over them so they can be camouflaged, how did they travel in it?
This is so silly. There's no one here.
It's a very fantasy accent you've got there, my dear. But also, what's silly? I'm not even sure what you're supposed to be doing.
They're hiding.
From who?
From us.
If they're hiding from us, that means they know that we're here. In which case, who are we hiding from?
From them.
Welcome to Willow Logic, everybody. They were hiding from these people who were hiding from those people because everyone's hiding from each other because despite the fact that no one's supposed to know they're there, they actually do know they're there, which is why they're hiding from them. The problem is not me. It's definitely them. So they decide to stop hiding, although how they got here while hiding, I still don't know in the first place, and walk up to the gate. Obviously, despite this being a seemingly endless city into the distance, we all end up at exactly the same place. The left-handed German door.
They're in there. I know it.
How can you know it? That's my question. Now, I do appreciate that the magical locked door has a cat flap for people to enter. Still doesn't explain how you know they got in there, though. Now, this is also the same symbol on the vault that Borman tried to crack his way into. And yet, when he walks up to the door and sees the symbol, doesn't react to it at all. It's not going to tell him I tried to crack into a vault with this on it before. Look, that happened a few episodes. Forget it. It's not important. Anything that happened more than 5 minutes ago, think of it as a temporary state of existence that we had to endure just to get here. But the storm keeps approaching, which gives us an arbitrary timer to increase the tension when obviously we get the mage to use his magic flute on it.
We're running out of time!
Raylan, do magic! Right, I'm a sorcerer.
He'd forgot he could do magic. If you forgot you could do magic and had to say out loud, oh yes, I'm a sorcerer, what did you think you were holding your flute out before for? Oh, just like pointing my musical instrument at people, I can't remember why. No, obviously he didn't forget. They had to include the line, oh yes, I'm a sorcerer, in case the audience had forgot that he could do magic. From the last episode. Although maybe it was put in because he could just spontaneously do magic in the last episode. And so if you missed that previous one, this would make literally no sense to you because it's not as if they built up to it over the series. He now knows the magic spell to open a door for some reason. Never been trained it, doesn't know how, just doing it. But the storm won't stop, powers right up to him. A face appears into it, which only tells me that they've seen the Mummy films. And Borman's hand starts turning into stone, but just in case you're too thick to realise that,
Guys, I'm turning to stone!
they do spell it out for you. A show doesn't have to pitch itself at the level of a mouth-breathing amoeba, but you know, Disney clearly thinks it helps. When books referred to heroes as stony-faced, they never meant this. But now we get Kitt's temptation, and as you would expect, it all revolves around her ego.
It isn't easy to admit to your daughter that you were wrong.
Kitt was amazing, you were right from the start. How could I not have just trusted everything that my ignorant little child said?
I tried to mold you into something that I thought you had to be.
Which was right, because she's a princess. Any previous ideas about duty and honor and having to do the role that you were born to do, all out the window. Bearing in mind that at any point, Kitt could have rescinded her royal titles and lived life as a peasant, but she decided not to because she loved the life of luxury. She just didn't want any of the responsibility or accountability that comes with it.
Responsibility is a chain round your neck.
One that you get handsomely paid for as a royal, and yet you only complain about one side of that equation. You love the free gibs, you just don't enjoy the work.
Weighs you down. Some people are built for that, but not you.
Yeah, you're weak, selfish, and entitled, but I'm sure we're going to say that's a positive.
You were always meant to forge your own path.
I should have just let you be whatever you wanted to be and just give you all the free stuff in the world, despite you not earning a single penny of it. It's worth remembering that this is also Kitt's opinion, and the evil villain is affirming her position. There's no argument that can be made to me anymore that doesn't say that Kitt is just the worm. The worm reborn in human form. Then we have Prince Charming chatting up the savior of the world.
What's it like to do magic? Can you fly?
Yes, chatting up Elora mainly revolves around just ask her questions about herself. She'll love that. Yeah, she does know that you signed an agreement with the devil to bring about the end of the world. But if you make her talk about her, she'll forget all of it. She's that self-absorbed.
What? No.
Can you shoot lightning bolts out of your fingertips?
No, that's Kitt. She's the Sith Lord. Although, to be fair to Willow, this is at least a bit of setup and payoff, which isn't as in your face as everything else.
I mean, I've done some stuff.
Can we please not tell the embodiment of evil our power levels when we're about to go into a battle? I mean, at this point, keep your forked tongue behind your teeth. Should apply to Elora. When you're in a conversation with your nemesis, shut your gob.
Back home, when I used to cook, I wasn't even thinking about what I was doing. My hands were just guided by some instinct.
That's evolution for you, love. If your girlfriend ever gets annoyed with you, give her bread, ham, and butter. Instinct will kick in and she'll give you a sandwich. Completely forget what she was doing. That's not my logic, that's Elora's.
I can see what being good would look like, but never seem to be able to get to that place.
I mean, I've watched Tom Cruise jump out of an aeroplane, but it doesn't mean I think I can do it. If you can see it, you can be it has to be the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard. Although you can do this if you put in years of hard work and dedication. Doesn't really have the same ring to it for a Zoomer generation, does it?
Maybe it's because you don't want to be Elora Danan.
I christen you Dave.
What if we could go back to the last night in Tirasleen before I left, before you met Willow and...
I'd say that wouldn't really change much. You've rolled back time about 2 months, who cares? He's like, if we roll it back, you can live life as a kitchen maid buttering people's muffins. All you've got to do is destroy the Earth.
And all you'd be giving up is something that you never really wanted in the first place.
And the lives of every single person you've ever known and the fate of all humanity. Kind of feel like you're underselling it.
You can't change, but...
No, but the worm can.
Yes, that's the evil plan. Marry me, give in, drink this evil liquid, and together we shall destroy the Earth, roll back time, and you will no longer be called Elora, and will live a life of happy marriage for eternity. I have to say, Elora killing all of her friends and the entire world in order to roll back time 2 months wasn't on my Willow bingo card. That's more surprising than the flamethrower was in episode 5. All you have to do to agree to this deal is drink my orange nurturing worm goo. Worm goo. Is there anything the villains have which is even remotely alluring, except their fashion sense? It's worm secretion. It'll taste really nice. Don't lick your lips, love. What was that? Reproductive worm goo. This scene is horrifying, it really is. Kitt gets given a similar deal, which is basically, you can just get whatever you want. You get to live in a world that's all about you, where you have no responsibilities or accountability, and you just get a load of money given to you that you haven't earned and don't deserve for free. Normally, she'd have to get married to get that, but she is a stable hand, so the best thing she's going to get out of her is a U-Haul.
And you'll be free to set off on the great adventure that awaits you.
I mean, she's already jumped off the edge of the world. I'm not sure how you're going to top that. Could we find the edge of this one and push her off? I mean, Kitt's so shallow, you could have just offered her a Ferrari and had done with it. But Kitt takes one final look at the worm splooge and realizes, hang on, I'm not into anything squirting anything at me.
Can you hear me?
It does help that her dad starts talking to her as well. Unfortunately, he doesn't go, can you stop being evil, please?
Dad, are you here? Where are you?
I'm with you, always.
Oh, that's a fate worse than death then, mate. He jumped into a different realm of existence in order to escape from her. And now he's like, I'm just stuck with you for eternity.
But love is sacrifice. It's the only way to save Elora.
Dad, I'm not you.
Yes, you are.
Yep, we're about to get it. We take one step forwards into quality just to do a 180 and sprint.
No, really, I'm not.
All right, you're not. You're better.
Piss off! Better at what? Killing an IP? Dropping viewing figures? That's a relative comment. I'm gonna need to know what you're comparing yourself against. In the first movie, he was an evil scoundrel that went through a redemption arc and actually turned into a useful, beneficial member of society. And in this, she just stayed an evil scoundrel. Better at being stubborn, perhaps? I don't know.
You are her shield. You are her sword.
I think that's what we call objectification. It's enough, though, to make her not want to swallow the worm goo that it just keeps squirting out everywhere. She runs to save Elora. It is too late, though. Elora's already decided that she wants to go down that path and annihilate all of her friends and the rest of humanity in order to roll time back 2 months. I can't help feeling that's not a good deal.
Where is she? I admit I'm disappointed.
The cameraman wasn't there, was he? We find out that Elora making a choice is all that she needed to do, and that means the Great Awakening has come. The evil army is pouring forth to take over and destroy the world. Also, Elora can travel back in time a bit and get her end away. We get this CGI vision of a horde of people who have presumably all gone through this process, following the lines of Worm Secretion out into the world. Definitely not setting up a season 2 with all of this, or at least their attempt to.
Deliver this world from suffering and despair.
I mean, if you want to stop the suffering, pain, and despair, you definitely don't want to do a season 2. And it turns out it was a trap. If you say no to the choice, then the villain betrays you and turns you into stone anyway. I couldn't possibly have predicted that going along with the villain's plan could have backfired if you actually said no to them. But this is a surprise. The next scene is Elora getting exactly what she wanted, a wedding inside a malevolent forest. All of her friends are there, standing absolutely stock still with no personality at all. She knows these people are just illusions, but for some reason, okay, we're still going along with it. There's nothing creepy about this image that could possibly deter me. Although Kitt not moving and staying silent is a definite positive for the series. Might be my favourite scene. Now, I'm not exactly up on wedding traditions, but isn't the entire point of a veil that you can't really see through it? Making it entirely transparent seems to defeat the object. I always thought it went back to the days of arranged marriages, where they go, and now you can meet the bride. He's like, oh no! It was like their version of slot machines or the lottery, except you had to live with the consequences forever.
You crossed the world to save the man you love.
It's a story as old as time. Prince in distress gets kidnapped by villain. Girl in love with prince sets out to save him from said villain. Girl brings about the apocalypse. I'm surprised this isn't Shakespeare.
And now you can. With one simple act of love, you can complete the circle.
What? They are going to shag the apocalypse into existence. No wonder monks and nuns take a vow of celibacy if this can be the result. No, I can't, my dear. We might create season 2 of Willow. Nobody wants that. It's not worth the risk.
Cure this diseased world of its affliction.
Are you going to get rid of Kitt? Now that really would be an upside. Even I'd drink a cup of worm juice for that. So he awkwardly puts the ring on her finger. We're not going to do any vows. Who cares about vows? This is the end of the world.
It's taken me a long time to figure out who I am.
Could you stop heavy breathing, please? It's really distracting.
I knew from the moment that I saw you that there was something special inside of you.
Was it you? She's even looking at him. Did you really say that? I mean, come on. Frodo had to destroy a ring and they've got to complete one. Presumably he's destroying a ring afterwards.
Just that and your kiss.
Yes, this is the decision. She's already drunk the evil worm goo, but now he's got to suck out her soul. Which is actually pretty common on a wedding night, but it doesn't normally get televised for the world.
He's all yours.
We get a quick glimpse at what the crone actually looks like, which, considering the prince had a bang on that. Ooh. Seriously, I thought this was supposed to be another realm, not Portland. But just as they're about to do the deed...
You know what? I don't think I'm into you anymore.
You couldn't have decided that earlier, love, because you're cutting it a bit close. I did really want to destroy the world, but you know, just kind of changed my mind. I want a divorce. Don't worry, love, we've all been there. We know exactly how you feel. Why did you say you weren't hungry and then just proceeded to eat off my plate?
It's too late. You've made the choice.
No, I haven't.
You drank the worm goo. What did you think you were doing?
And not you or them is gonna make me do something that I don't want to do.
No, the entire point was that you did want to do it. That's why you drank the worm goo. Most people would have assumed that the final decision was drinking the worm goo. I would say, oh yeah, obviously I'm going to drink the evil juice that turned him evil, and then I'm just going to hope that I still can say no afterwards. Please, walk me through the logic here. I would love to know.
Consider the alternative. Stand against us and lands will burn, kingdoms laid to waste, lives destroyed, and everyone you've ever known and loved will die.
Alright, calm down. I can't get any more excited. That's supposed to be the negative, and all I want to do is watch that series.
For what? Your principles? That's just another word for rules.
Principles are more like foundational beliefs, and the ones that you choose to live by, so yes, they're rules, but they're they're rules that you selected because you think they're good for you.
More rules.
That you created, yes. Because you realize you need some kind of semblance of restriction and standards in your life. Otherwise you end up like you, or Kitt.
We're sorceresses, goddesses. We make our own rules.
It's literally what principles are. You didn't think this through, did you? My principles are mine because I decided to have them.
If old you could see the new you, he'd gag.
To be fair, he looks way better now than he did before.
She's Elora Dannon.
Oh no, he had to appear, did he? He's half the size of everyone else. That means he had to fall double the distance. And yes, I know that's not accurate, but it would have felt like it. Come on.
Last blood of Chimeria. Yuta Empress, High Priestess, Semprum Sorceress of the Nine Realms. And you, lady, are in big trouble.
That's what it's like when he tries to act. Which really shows that in episode 1, he didn't even try. You're in big trouble. As opposed to the first one. She is the Empress and you're in big trouble.
Vornak. Shut up! Ludina!
So Willow comes in and just shatters the illusional reality, which was lucky because obviously none of it was real. She was on the wheel of the worm and had no other way out of that reality than if Willow had come to save them. So what was their plan again? Because it seems like they got dragged out and saved from their stupidity by the skin of their teeth. For some reason, it's never explained, him shattering the illusion also frees all these stone friends. They just gotta break out of it. Wait, hang on, didn't he have to pass those stone people in order to enter the temple in the first place? Why didn't he free them when he walked past? How did he even get here when there was a storm that would turn you into stone that he had to pass through? None of this makes any sense.
I decided not to marry your brother. Good.
I didn't think you should.
Why? Because he's possessed, or he's just a little naive?
You're gonna call the brother naive? You went into a city on your own, met Satan, and decided to go along with his plan, eventually, after walking right up to the brink of the apocalypse, say no, and still ultimately bringing about the apocalypse because you've already said yes by drinking the goo. Yeah, everyone else is naive, not you, love. We get to see the true face of the crone. Honestly, don't fancy yours much. She kind of got goo pouring down her face as well. It does get worse. In Teleport the Sorcerers, including Cageface, honestly, if they could just teleport wherever they wanted to go, why didn't they do that before? These people were too scared to walk into a forest because they thought it was cursed. Then we forgot about the curse. Now it just turns out they could teleport in and out of it whenever they wanted. Don't think about it, turn your brain off. It'll be fine. Our crew decide that despite running from them for the entire series, we're now going to have a sword fight with them. All through the series, they've been immune to damage from swords, but they're definitely going to work this time. Elora grabs a wand, goes to blast the crone, and accidentally murders her boyfriend instead. That's one man down. Let's see if we can get rid of the rest, shall we? Oh yes, I'm sure you know where this is going. The moment she's killed her boyfriend, the blast bounces back at her and knocks the wand out of her hand, landing over here. Now, if I was Elora, I'd go and pick it up, but for some reason, we're not going to do that. Now, in this fight scene, when the camera isn't on someone, nothing's happening. Because Elora would have plenty of time to pick up the wand during this, but she doesn't move. Instead, she decides to circle the pool of evil, just staring at the villain for some reason.
Know how it ends.
I mean, she says that, but at the same time, it's not how it ends. It's not even a prediction that could have been interpreted that way. It's just wrong.
You think you can change it?
There's nothing to change, or in fact, she did change it. Take your pick.
You think you can defeat the worm? His eternal bit.
Nothing screams medieval fantasy like that line, although if we are going to say it to anyone, it's gotta be Kitt, doesn't it? Why are we not saying it to Kitt? We missed the perfect opportunity. But everyone lines up, having a fight in a perfectly straight line so they all fit into the camera. I didn't slow that down. The TV show thought it was that impressive. They do seem to be holding their own against people they've run away from for the entire series, but at least they're not just battering them all, because that'd be really stupid. We get more taunting from the villain that doesn't really mean anything.
Where's Shalindria's little stick?
You mean this little stick?
Yeah, fake Beard's about to show everyone his little stick. They say size doesn't matter, but when you're competing with a prince, I think it probably does, let's be honest. But don't worry, remember, he can do magic now, out of nowhere, for absolutely no reason.
It's okay, I know what I'm doing.
Plot twist, he has absolutely no idea what he's doing. But then again, he is a man, which means we have to come up with an excuse to get him out of the fight.
I can do this.
He can't do this. So he blasts her with all of his purple magic. He puts everything into it and it goes on for ages. She puts up this kind of shield which keeps cracking but doesn't break. Before he ends up on his knees. Drained, exhausted, and altogether pretty crap. All style, no substance.
He put everything he had into it. All his hate.
So you'd think that'd be the key then. This is the moment when the hero goes forth and saves the universe. He put all his hate into the spell and it did nothing against evil, so I shall use my love for the magic. No one in the show comes to that conclusion, despite it being spelt out right in front of them. So they lose Elindri's wand, which would be a lot more important if they hadn't already proved that you could just use a flute or something. But there is a brief moment of respite in the show. Yeet! It gets torn apart into a million pieces and yeeted into the glowing LED wall of pain. Hopefully we can find an excuse to get rid of the other men in the scene, because we don't want them in the final battle. That'd be disgusting. What a world would we be in if we allowed that to happen? Elora gets a face that's more like someone just drank the last of my wine rather than you've killed my best friend. A bit more grief, a little less hangover. At least Willow gave it a go. Elora sprints up to you like, oh, is she going to go through the portal to try and save his life from whatever hell he's just been yeeted into? Nah, we're not going to go that far. Sure, she runs up to it as if she's about to do something, and then just stares after him. I can't be bothered, love. Finally get to see what's through the LED wall of pain. It looks like you just walk onto the worm. Presumably this is their representation of what hell looks like, but I think it's just meant to be the worm's prison. And it's moving, so it's definitely the worm. You know, she could dive out there and try and save Fakebeard, but can't really be bothered. Oh yeah, she can now fire lightning out of her fingertips, though. Like I say, setup and payoff. It was mentioned earlier in the episode, and I think it was probably just either the prince or the crone assessing her power levels. Well, it looks like we've reached them. I don't know what this expression is meant to be. I'm not even sure he knew this was possible. She does punch the crone out of an entire temple and down the street, though, so kind of liking the power-up. Maybe while we're in the room, we could save all of our friends from the evil sorcerers that are about to kill all of them, which coincidentally just stopped fighting all of my friends after Fakebeard got yeeted through a portal. Where did they go? I'm not joking, we get this battle scene. He stands up, does his whole magic thing. In the rest of the room, no one's fighting. Remember, the camera's not on him, so nobody exists. He gets yeeted through the portal, Elora goes up to him, and after he gets yeeted through the portal, we just see all of our cast members not having a fight because everyone stopped. There is no enemies in this room anymore. The camera went on them. They've disappeared, which is my only explanation for why Elora doesn't kill them as she walks past them. Now she's superpowered, because she does just leave everyone behind her as she goes out to fight the crone. Or at least she would if the crone didn't teleport away anyway.
What made you come back?
That's your first question? Not quick, we better save the guy who got yeeted onto the worm. We need to kill the crone. Our friends are still fighting those evil demons. No, it's just so, Willow, how's your day been, mate? Have a nice trip down the waterfall? No one has any priorities in this show.
It's where I belong.
I belong in an evil city where you can only drink darkness.
Standing beside you. Now I'm gonna kill these blokes.
Well, thanks for undermining that moment. Next, I'm gonna say I'm a bit miffed. It's gonna be really funny. And finally, the evil sorcerers have respawned. Now the camera's on them again, and so we can engage in the battle once more.
Where'd they go? They're in here.
I hate how this show does something stupid and then points it out as if that excuses them doing the stupid thing in the first place. Where did the enemies go during that entire scene? I don't know. They're still in here, though.
We have to help Elora.
Yeah, I'm gonna need this.
Oh, forgot about this moment. Do you remember the Chimerian Cuirass? The one that will only work for someone who is virtuous, someone who is worthy of having one of the most powerful magical items in the world. Well, we've yeeted off most of the cast now. There's only 3 choices left. We know it doesn't work for Borman because he did sacrifice himself to jump off the waterfall to come here in the first place. Maybe he's worthy now. But oh no, we've got a choice of 2. Before I reveal the outcome, place your bets down in the comments below. Kit or Stablehand? Place your bets.
It doesn't work.
Didn't work for me.
Yeah, but it'll definitely work for you, Kit. You're pure evil. Kit didn't care when her childhood friend died in episode 1. She didn't care about rescuing her brother. She's been jealous of Elora the entire way through, hoping that she gets brutally killed. She said that people that boil people's skulls could keep Borman because he's the worst. Fell into liquid evil and came out a better person because it diluted her natural personality. She's 100% the person for that armor to work on. They actually did this. I thought they were faking it and it was going to go, oh, it didn't work for me. Now Stablehand can have a go.
But it's gonna work for you.
But shouldn't, though, should it?
I finally figured it out.
This ought to be good.
This isn't my story. It's yours.
This is all about you. You are the key to everything. You thought it was Elora, but no. Turns out you were just jealous of someone who isn't the main person. You're the main person. This is your story, Kit, and your pure evil nature that will destroy the entire universe.
You're the one, and all you gotta do is believe in yourself.
What do you think she's been doing? Seriously, she's one of the most egotistical, self-centered person in the world.
You will be unstoppable.
If she gets a bigger head, she won't actually be able to fit out of the door.
Go save us all.
Just go forward and save the universe. Where am I gonna go? Well, I've still got dangly bits, and so I'm not allowed to be in the final battle. I should probably just stay here while you go out there.
What are you gonna do?
I'd like to leave this world the way I came in.
I don't know if you noticed that, but that is why he's got a hand grab in his sword, which I never understood. He actually extends his cleaver. There's no way. Why? Now, admittedly, they do give him a good send-off, even though he isn't allowed to actually partake in the last battle because dangly bits. And yet, even though it is a good send-off, it's still stupid. What he's doing is sealing himself in the room with every single one of the evil sorcerers that have been chasing them through the world. They've never managed to kill any of them throughout this entire thing, except by magic, and now I'm just going to fight him with a cleaver. Things in this show are super powerful, right until the moment they're not. Elora is wandering through the city and finds the crone. The crone can teleport around all the place, but for some reason teleports in front of her. No advantage to taking her by surprise. That'd be stupid. Don't ask me what that was. I couldn't answer it. What follows, though, is a mix of the magic from the previous episode, along with a healthy dose of Sith Lord. Unfortunately, I'm not the best at battle. She does just blast once and immediately run away. And you can kind of see her face here. It's just horrified. I'm gonna hide around a corner like a hero. It doesn't come across that you can defeat the villain if you're the one hiding after firing one shot, especially if you did some weird wiggle thing first. I'm so confident. Run away! During all this, Willow is running around being chased by basically an entire army of evil, as far as I can tell. Using his rapid-fire staff that no longer drains him of energy, he can do magic whenever he wants, it's fine. Does seem pretty powerful and keeps annihilating them, though, so at least he's dropped that whole I'm pathetic at everything. We cut back to Elora, who is actually so scared of her own magic that she's covering her eyes. I understand it's bright, but if you're supposed to be aiming at something, look at it. No wonder you're missing, love. She takes a hit to the chest. They trade blows for a while. Elora gets hit a few times, but doesn't actually seem to do anything. She got blasted right in the chest. Just fine, obviously. You hit me? Why don't you hit me again? I'm just gonna stand here and wait for it. Not the best strategic mind in the world. Evil Prince turns up out of nowhere. Wasn't he in that illusion that got shattered? How did he end up here? Shush, don't think about it. He's here now. That's the important thing. We can't have any other man involved in the final fight, but we can have one if they're evil. We have to go through the typical scene of, he may be evil, but let's try and save him. Surely Elora should be the one trying to save him. She's the one he's in love with. You're just like his sister, his really annoying sister that's treated him horribly.
You're my brother!
I'm your king!
Based. It's nice that we finally get the family lineage, that it does indeed go to him. He's the first in line and she's the second in line, which means that this isn't wrong or even wrong to say. She's just like, I can't believe that you said you were above it. Well, he is. And it shows her treating him badly the entire way is even more ridiculous because she's beneath him.
Okay, this conversation is over.
You said I'm your king. Guess we better hit you with swords then. That's all it takes for you. I can't believe you've been rude to me. Now you're going to have to die. Despite the fact that he's meant to be your brother. Because they do just start attacking him with swords after that. I'll make a passing attempt to try and save you from evil. But if you say you're better than me, well, that all bets are off. I don't care if you die then. I only came across half the world to save you, but I don't really care anymore. We get this quick overhead scene where you can see Elora and the crone fighting and then them fighting with swords on the other side. But you're telling me Elora can just walk over here at will and the crone's not going to do anything on the way past? Yes, actually, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Just walks over and sees their sword fight. But now Elora's seen that Kitt is so evil, she's desperately trying to murder her brother because he said, I'm king. You couldn't write this show. She decides to hide behind some rocks. This is the heroic behavior you'd expect in a final battle between two powerful sorceresses.
I'm here. Where? Inside your head, dummy.
Yeah, it seems Willow has turned himself into an iPhone and can now just beam himself into other people's faces. I don't know if you've ever seen The Flash or Supergirl or basically any CW hero show, but it's that moment. I can't do it. I can't beat them. I believe in you. Now I'm 10 times more powerful than I was before.
She's too strong.
She's not as strong as you are.
Oh, I can't beat her. Yes, you can. Yes, I can. It's that scene. But he gives her a speech that it's okay to fail. It's okay to fall down. You'll improve from them and learn from your failures a lot more than you ever will your successes. Which is a good message. The problem is, it's not going to suddenly turn you into a battle sorceress 10 times more powerful than you were before. If you were losing a battle before, you're still going to lose it now. But not when you're Elora Danan.
Wherever the adventure leads, I'm with you.
It's a good job Kitt didn't say I'll be with you wherever you go, because that's enough to make anyone lose deliberately. But she's had an inspirational speech, and so now I can win. I have become the Emperor. she decides rather than using magic, she's going to shoulder barge the crone. We keep having flashes of this fight. They're desperate to make him seem like the unreasonable one, as, oh, I'm out of control, when they only attacked him because he said, I'm your king, which is a factually true statement. There is no man in this final battle, except for the one on the evil side, who they basically say, I can't believe he said he was above a woman. Oh, desperately clutching their pearls. He does try to take out Stable Hand, gets saved by Kitt, unfortunately. And the crone starts blasting magic into Elora's face. Soon you will look as attractive as I do. I've got to say, of all the people that the prince could have fallen for, I think he could have done better. But Elora's had an inspirational speech. You can't defeat her that easy. So she beams out the magic from her face. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. Immediately shatters the crone's shield and starts blasting the crone now she's clearly defeated. The issue is, just when you think she's won, we cut to the crone and I still can't quite believe they did this moment. This isn't even my final form! Like, they've kind of turned her clothes into tentacles or something as well. It gets very weird at this point. Don't worry, though. Elora's planned for this. You see, she's been doing her research, and she's watched Boba Fett. Don't you know, magic's more powerful if you do a completely unnecessary 360-degree spin first. We get this sort of an exchange of magic. Everyone's meeting each other. Very traditional kind of magic thing. Or we're just going to have them at a distance and we're going to watch the bar move between them like a tug of war. I preferred it before where it was more projectile-based, so you could have the skill of someone being more agile and avoiding the magic rather than just pure power hitting each other. That's my face when Kitt starts talking about the wage gap. Kitt being forced to watch the entire series of Willow back in her spare time. But eventually, and inevitably, Elora wins, overcoming her in magic. Of course it had to happen. Someone said over a comm device, I believe in you! You can't lose after that. It's impossible. It's CW rules. But remember, the prince and future king is evil. He dared say that a princess could actually be beneath him in the order of succession. We can't have that. He's got to be humiliated for daring to stand up to Kitt in the first place. Because as he sees the crone as the high-fashion youthful actress.
This was always wherever would have failed, you will succeed. I know it. You are the harbinger.
Yeah, we're gonna have that plot twist. You see, we had to defeat the villain, but we've also got to set up a season 2. And you know, there were loads of evil people that you could have had for this role. Kitt was just begging to turn up here and turn out that actually she's the harbinger, which would explain all of her previous actions throughout the entire series. But no, the prince, the person that cared about duty, family, and doing what was right, obviously, he's going to be the evil harbinger of doom and the apocalypse. He's got dangly bits, what did you expect? That makes all of his beliefs antithetical to what we should really have. Kitt? So he decides if she's gonna die, I should at least give her a bit of pleasure on her way out. Of course, everyone else sees her in her true form. I wouldn't judge too much Stable Hand when you're getting with Kitt, who is still far, far more malevolent than the worm. Yeah, that's a hill and I'm gonna die on it. So he's still just going at it with the evil crone. And we very clearly see this sort of red wave of magic go up through her face into him, and we just forget about it. Doesn't matter.
Kitt, look, check out the trainer.
Because now we got to tell you how good Kitt is. Despite for the rest of the series proving the exact opposite. Obviously, out of everyone, Kitt's the only person that could be the most virtuous among us, which is why her armor lights up. I did briefly hope that that was the Lux Arcana stabbing into her chest and that was going to be the end of it. No, we're not that lucky, because we do get what I think is an admittedly cool suiting up scene. Anything like that, I am a complete sucker for. Same thing with Iron Man putting his suit on, or the Transformers changing from cars into machines. There's just something satisfying about it. Stable Hand looks like she could just take her right there. And now for some reason, we cut back to the father's sword, which has fixed itself. It was all dented and damaged before, but now it's perfect. I don't know why. It's never explained why. I don't think it's meant to be. I genuinely think it's a different prop and they forgot. Oh yeah, and he's kind of turned into an undead creature. For some reason, he looks at Elora and thinks, you know what? Yeah, I don't love her anymore. The entire plan was that I get with Elora because we need Elora, but now It doesn't matter. Of course Kitt is there. For the first time in the series, she might actually be useful. All it took was the most powerful armor in the universe to do it. He's powered up, she's powered up, except she's got an armor that should be able to defeat 2,000 enemies. That was the story. But obviously with her, it is powered by hate, anger, and pure malevolence. So they have a bit of a sword fight.
I don't want to hurt you.
You can't hurt me.
Maybe not physically, dude, but mentally, do not underestimate her power. I've spent an entire series with her. You've not seen her for the last 7 episodes. But just in case one of them being undead didn't spell out who you're supposed to root for in this fight, which admittedly I can kind of understand because one is an undead sorcerer, but the other's Kitt. It's like an ace. It doesn't really matter what it compares against, it wins. So they really have to hammer it home for you.
Please.
I'm gonna kill you to get to her.
You're not supposed to like him. Please, support Kitt. We can't explain why. Look, we gave her an armor which says she's virtuous. It must be true. They did steal that from Assassin's Creed as well, so Ubisoft cancelling all their games. Maybe not the best time to steal their ideas. Oh, you can't beat me now. I've got 2 swords. I've never practiced with 2 swords before, but suddenly I'm a master of them. Must be this armor. They continue the fight for a long time, and she's basically just destroying him. She puts the 2 swords to his neck and screams, "For the patriarchy!" She didn't say that, but the fact that she might have done is the problem. Yeah, instead we get Elora to save the day because Kitt is impossible of saving anyone.
We all have to give something up.
As proven by this, she immediately jumps to, I've got to be the one that kills him! Not can we save him, is there anything we can do? No. First option is obviously I've got to be the one that kill him.
What we believe in.
Why don't you ask if anyone can do something rather than being, no, please, it's gotta be me.
We both believe that love
is the most powerful thing in the universe.
You know that's the one thing you haven't tried throughout any of these battles. All it took was for him to go, I'm next in line to be king, and you start hitting him in the face with a sword. You demented lunatics. We're the good moral ones. So Willow appears because apparently he's just defeated an entire army of evil. Smashes his staff to get the jewel, hands it to Kitt of all people, bearing in mind we've just said that love is the most powerful thing on earth, and Elora loves him, was about to marry him, came across the world to rescue him. Elora's the one in love with him. Kitt's just like, oh, you're my evil brother that's going to take the king off me. But you know why they've done this? Because Elora's already defeated the crone, and they thought Elora can't do 2 things, so they've just given it to Kitt, just to give Kitt something to do, even though this is not her role at all.
What do I do?
Give it to Elora, she's in love with him.
Talk to him.
Oh, that's gonna push him over the edge for sure. He's never coming back if you talk to him.
If he can, he'll see the light and come to you.
He's not gonna come to Kitt. What? Are you insane? You were fighting an army of evil demons. I'm surprised you came back to her. So she uses like the mind gem to get inside his face. At no point throughout these battles has she tried to talk him down, except extremely briefly before she starts hitting him with swords again, but now she suddenly cares.
And I know you're scared, but I did not come all this way to lose you.
And obviously it immediately starts working. You see smoke coming off all of his weird sort of lava vein things. We get flashbacks to when she was in the evil pool, which is green for some reason now. Them practicing sword fighting together.
And I know it feels like you're alone right now, but
it's a very basic thing of, I know you're alone, but you're never alone because I'll always be with you. My theory is she's still trying to push him over the edge because it'd do me.
But you're not. I've got you. I'm never gonna leave you.
And with that threat, he comes back. If I die, you're never going to leave me? Okay, I will heal from anything to avoid that fate. He gets magically cured because, quite frankly, that's enough to scare anyone back to life. At least that's the theory, because let's be honest, all of this is for a season 2. He's been told he's the Harbinger, he's been told if you leave, you're the Harbinger, and so this is just all part of the plan to get him to leave with them. I know that, you know that, but the story still wants you to think, oh, maybe this is the good ending. If we don't get to season 2, then everyone's happy and we'll just assume that none of this is wrong.
You're okay.
Thanks for telling me, mate, but I do have to ask, what was wrong with your voice?
You're okay.
You weren't when you filmed that scene, were you? Someone get Warwick Davies to do an advert for cough medicine. And oh yeah, and Bowman survived because he was only fighting every single henchman in there on his own in a trapped room. Came out the other side absolutely fine.
I want my mum.
Oh yeah, we also had to humiliate him because He is a man. Isn't it interesting that during the final battle, they coincidentally got rid of all the men, and then the moment everything was solved, well, they all turn up again. Strange how that happened, isn't it? Elora gets given the flute, which I suppose is meant to be magical now, but really is just a piece of wood. The only reason that flute could do magic is because it was important to him, not important to her. Unless you want to go, well, it used to be his. So they leave the city into the wilderness of infinity. Stablehand is particularly pleased with the armor, and obviously Kitt looks exactly as smug as you'd expect. Who wants to bet that if there was a season 2, she becomes queen of the empire, despite the fact that the prince is supposed to become king? And he's like, no, I'm not worthy compared to you. That armor proves you're worthy of being the leader you were always meant to be.
What? I'm gonna take it off.
Yeah, she really perked up when she heard that statement.
When? As soon as I figure out how.
So at the moment, it's basically a chastity belt. Let's hope she doesn't need to pee first. Begin to rust. But they say, how can we leave? We haven't even defeated everything. The worm is still back there, waiting for us. Shouldn't we actually go and fight the worm? You know, like Mad Mardigan did?
Shouldn't we go back and try and kill it?
Soon it'll come for us.
Isn't that more of a reason why you should go back and kill it first?
Now we've really pissed it off.
Yeah, isn't that more reason why you should go after it first?
You don't really seem to be worried. Isn't that usually your thing, worrying?
No, I've got you girls.
Yeah, Warwick's a changed man. You know, I was doubtful before, I thought the world would end, I thought everyone was gonna die, but now, I've got you girls.
Soon there'll be more, like a snowball gathering size and speed as it rolls downhill.
He's gonna have like his own harem by the end of it.
Hey! Come on. We need you up here.
Kitt has finally made a friend out of Elora. She's no longer jealous of her because now she is the one who has the most powerful magic item in all of existence. You're supposed to think that that's her plot arc, turning from horrible evil person into nice person that's overcome things like jealousy and bitterness. But really, she hasn't. She just took on the role that she wanted. She didn't overcome her problems of just like arrogance and entitlement. No, she found out that actually she is the most important person in the universe. She does deserve to be placed above everyone else. And she's proved it by a magical piece of armor. But just when you think it's all over, oh no. This show can always get worse, because it fades to black and comes back, traveling through the LED door of pain. Turns out Fakebeard's actually alive, but he's been sent to hell. The hell that Willow actually foresaw in his visions. This was where Willow woke up. There's a huge battle. People of all shapes and sizes are dead all over the place. The floor is literally littered with them. But in the distance, he sees someone. It's evil Elora. I really hope that this isn't just like the crone again, or the worm putting a representation of Elora in his mind. I hope it's actually evil Elora. And like I say, why are the evil people always the best dressed on this show? I don't know.
What is this?
The end, the beginning, the dawn of the next age of this world.
It's season 2, everybody.
But I can't do this alone. I need someone to help me.
You're supposed to be strong and independent, love. You're letting the side down.
And Graydon, I want you.
You know he's just recorded that moment in his brain and it's just on a 24-hour loop at this point. He's been gagging for it for 8 episodes and finally, he got it. The only thing going through his head at this moment was, I can fix her! But we see over her shoulder and there's just a massive army of doom behind her. The weird thing is that this was Willow's vision of the future, so now it's happening now. I'm assuming that this is reality and not another delusion, but I have no idea. Yeah, we also have that music, which I can't play much of. At the very end, all we got to see is that actually Kitt was right all along. She was telling everyone how amazing she is. She was jealous of everyone from the start. She just felt that she should be better than them. Look, I know you're the most important person in the world, but actually, I think I should be instead. And then she transforms into that. Turns out she is actually the bestest person in the world. And so she doesn't have to learn not to be jealous. She doesn't have to learn that that's a mistake. You know, she just transforms into the person that you should be jealous of. And so with that, I think the only way you'd make a good show is with an entirely different group of people making it. Because despite a few visual effects, the main problem out of all of this was the story. It was the plot, it was the script. And when it comes to that, I don't think there was any salvaging that at all. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you liked the video, subscribe, more videos like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.